Guys, have you ever gotten beaten up in public because of a Yelp review? Me neither. We're going to talk about that and more today on AfterBuzz TV, Episode 5, Season 2, Cobra Kai, titled Hawk and Demetri Go All In. See you guys in just a second.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This was an episode.
Yes.
This was an episode.
It
This
was
is,
blowing up.
and we open up this episode with a flashback to pre-Hawk. And I had forgotten. I mean, the Mohawk
he was a little
really
bird.
He was. The Mohawk really does wonders for this kid. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing because you look at it, and episode 5, we're right in the middle.
Yeah.
We're right in the heart of this series, and
Totally.
so they're really, as we talk, it's starting to take off, which is good. You started maybe a little slower. You started to have some competition fights. This episode really takes off.
It takes off. Yeah, I definitely think the back half, they like this. It feels like the back half of the season really does raise the stakes.
Yeah.
And it continues to raise the stakes, which is really, really good. There's a couple things that happen in this episode that kind of bring like what's going on, like petty kind of high school stuff or like old rivalries, a little bit more to like, oh, this starts to make me really feel. I'm getting pissed.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm really rooting for somebody here. So this episode starts out with a flashback to Hawk, as I mentioned. Hawk has I don't think it's actual like a condition. The thing on his lip that he gets it referenced.
It's a cleft lip.
It's a cleft lip.
Yeah,
and
it
he
was
had
mentioned.
surgery.
Yeah, it was mentioned earlier when he first went into Cobra Kai. He was like, "I had a cleft lip. I had to have surgery." Like
Cleft lip, okay.
and that's when Johnny says,
This is after
This
surgery?
is after."
Yes. It's like, ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dick. He's a real
Oh
dick
my
to
God.
him. But like
He
Hawk,
is.
obviously, and as they throw back to this, you see his mom doing the thing that you always as a parent hope that you would never have your parent do to you, is call the school and say, I have to make them aware of what's going
Oh my
on.
God, I was just
Don't use his
cringing.
name. Don't use his name. You're like, no, you know.
He's like, do you realize what
You
you've
know.
done? But I felt for the kid. And I think what's so important about this, you know, I referenced it in one of the previous episodes, but I really do feel like from the point of view of just a character that you hate and you don't feel like Hawk is the villain of the show. He is the most villainous character in the show because he's like Martin Kove is like somebody who exists, but he's like somebody who exists again. He's a transplant from another generation's show. You need him as like the arch nemesis villain sort of the show. Hawk is a bully, and he used to not be a bully, and he's mean to his previous best friend, and he's just a dick.
I find it as, the older generation versus younger generation watching this. Of the older generation, we look at Kreese and we still have an affection for Kreese.
Yeah.
Because he was part of the old guard. And we're like, oh, okay, we still have respect for him. I think older people watching this look at Hawk and we're like, who is this douchebag?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck are you doing?
Totally.
You serve no purpose. You're not a good person. You're not benefiting the culture at all. You're not paying taxes. Like you're bringing nothing to society. And I wonder how a younger generation looks at this. And do they relate to him more and view Johnny, view Kreese as the person who's like, oh, we hate him. I mean, I think we have an affection for Kreese.
I think everybody does. I don't think that Kreese is the obvious villain. I think what makes Hawk feel so villainous is that he's like, first of all, they remind you here of how much of a kid that got bullied he was. And that like the idea that he would be this kid with a cleft lip with the scar, get made fun of so much, start fighting, and then just be this much of a jerk to like, oh, I hate him. The way that he like talks to the recruits, and he's just like mean to Demetri, and just like the whole thing, all of it.
I can't help but be sympathetic to Hawk.
Really?
I really.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, kids are bullied, and depending on the personality, some can move past it and make better choices, and others are just so destroyed by their experiences that when they have a sense of empowerment and they can defend themselves, they go to an extreme.
Yep.
I don't agree with his choices. It's horrific what he's doing, but I understand where he's coming from.
I would liken it to the kid that gets bullied in school and hates the world because he feels like he's not whatever, like he's constantly made fun of, who then gets to behind a keyboard and feels like now he has a voice because he's on the internet, and he can be mean and harass people and say horrible stuff all the time, and it happens all the time. I mean, literally, we're gonna get a third of the comments on the show are gonna be somebody telling me that I'm like a bad person for one reason or another. They're gonna make fun of my ears or something. Can't even see my ears. But like that just happens, and a lot of people that do that are, and I know because I've had friends, like relatively famous YouTube-ish kind of friends in the social media space, get really harassed and like go after them. I actually had a friend that was getting really harassed in a horrible way, like death threats kind of harassment. Went to the police. Police found the person. Person like pissed themselves at their front door. Got arrested. And it was just some idiot guy, who was like literally just starting because he can, and probably was bullied, probably was made fun of, and was just like, now I have a voice. So that's the kind of like way extreme version of what I see Hawk is like a social media bully, a real life bully in high school. It's all the same to me.
And they've built him up as like a cool kid in school. I mean, he has people following him now. He has a couple friends who are helping out with things. He's got the cool girlfriend. And so they're building up this character almost as the Johnny from the 80s.
Yeah.
You were the person. You had it all. You had the friends who were helping you. You had the, I don't know what kind of car he's driving, but you had the girl. You had the cool lifestyle in high school.
Well, he's obviously supposed to represent Johnny.
And I think, too, Hawk's personality lends itself to who's influencing him. If Johnny had continued to be a good influence on him, I think Hawk would have stayed contained.
Yeah.
But with Kreese being the influence...
Yeah. And that really steps it up in this episode of Kreese identifying Hawk and saying him.
Yeah, he definitely decides he's going to manipulate him. So on the other side of it, you've got Demetri. He's getting these lessons now from Miyagi Do, and just more of he's the worst. And he's at the mall with Robbie and Sam, who are starting to kind of be a thing, and they're that's the dojo, and they're all hanging out at the mall. I love it's just like warring karate dojos, and like they all hang out with each other. It is great. It is really great. But runs into Hawk. Demetri runs into Hawk in the comic book store and starts the confrontation because of this Yelp review. He refuses to take it down. And it would ruin my journalistic integrity. Like, I want to push you through, like, just, God, they make him so punchable. But he gets into this fight, and I love that he says, "Oh, I've been taking karate too," and then just gets leveled. You guys, we all expected that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, it starts out. Yeah, I've been taking karate too, and then he's like, "Wait, which way am I supposed to face?" You don't know step one.
I thought it was too soon for him to sand, right? I thought maybe, but it would have surprised me if he did that. I thought maybe he would have blocked the one and then just got kicked in the face.
Yeah.
But no, he just gets taken out.
Yep. But it sets up, obviously, that he then goes to Sam and Robbie, and they use the circle technique.
And it was sweet.
That was such
Always
an
a
amazing
lesson.
moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, the two
Where
of them.
all just came together, and they knew, oh my God, now we get it.
Yeah, it was sweet to see them kick ass together and use the technique together. The whole thing was just really, really cool. I did think that was going to turn into like a video on the internet moment. Surprising that it didn't, right?
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it would have been a good
They didn't.
video moment.
I'm sure. Yeah, it did, but they didn't reference it. Yeah, because again, those are the moments where you're like, that really would have helped Miyagi.
Yeah, big time, in a huge way. But it's almost like I think they were like, we've gone to the well and referenced that too many times. I don't think we need to. But so kind of continuing to raise the stakes. Right after this, Hawk gets broken up with. Moon finds out about it, and he's like, "You see this? This means forever." And she's like, "I didn't ask you to do that."
Exactly. Bye.
Just Hawk
like Moon.
Hawk has his tattoo guy too. Like they started on, you're like, oh, he's the tattoo guy. He's Hawk's tattoo guy.
And he's got the guys like pick up my bags. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Huck's sweet. Though he's the worst, but he's also pretty awesome. But so yeah, she breaks up with him. He's pissed, and it's not Johnny who sees Hawk and tries to counsel him through this moment. It's Kreese.
Yeah.
And he says the war is only over, the battle is only lost when you say it is.
Yeah.
So we got to get some revenge. And this then goes into this is a classic teen movie moment. They'll like vandalize the dojo, or in sports movies, let's trash their gym or let's trash their locker room. Let's tear up their field. I've seen it in a lot of shows. And it happens, but this one's particularly brutal because it's his house. First of all, it's his house.
The Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
That's the part when I said
the car. It's like, oh, I don't want to see the car. Don't do anything with the cars.
Raising the stakes, and that's what I mentioned. The Medal of Honor portion of it and the car were both like, wow, I can't believe that Daniel was more chill about this as he was, because Well, first of all, they broke into his home. That's his house, right?
What's
Yes.
the Miyagi
Well, yeah,
home?
you're
It's
breaking
Mr.
in-
Miyagi's home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not actually
It's
their
not
house.
his house.
No, yeah, it's a different
Miyagi's.
location.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. It's the property, and but like they break onto his property, they vandalize his stuff, they steal something that's like pretty invaluable. That feels like you would go to the police.
That is one of the struggles, I think, and obviously we see this later on, but it's like the outside of Miyagi and Cobra Kai world.
Yeah.
We're not breaching any of that.
No.
We're not the actual impact on society, and this especially, like you're saying, this would be, you have spray painted on the car, Cobra Kai never died.
Yeah.
If there's not police evidence of these kids definitely had fingerprints on stuff,
Right.
You definitely like, it's
That's I thought I
you,
found
you
that
have to
to
block
be
you have to block that out almost.
yeah. I thought that was pretty surprising because that felt like they raised the stakes and like. But then I was also like, there's a pride aspect of he's got his dojo. The other dojo just roughed up your dojo.
He also has the money to fix it. It's not like he's
Do you want to go to the police? Because if you go to the police, it probably means like your dojo and their dojo. Like your wife's probably gonna be like, you got the cops involved.
Yes.
Like you got to
Yeah.
stop, man. You got to
Yeah.
shut this thing down. And I think he's kind of like, there's a lesson here. I can teach through this. You know, that's when he sees the dojo and he thinks, you know, we can fix it.
And Johnny lost students because of it.
Yeah.
When Daniel went to Cobra Kai and confronted him and then left, and students left with him.
Yeah.
I would have been very curious, which they didn't do, which I was hoping of actually having Johnny see what the damage was.
yeah.
I was surprised. It's like, why
Because-
not take pictures or
Yeah.
bring something to the meeting? Like, look what happened.
Because I think in the character arc that we've seen of Johnny, he would have reacted much differently.
Yeah.
Had he known?
And knowing like, no,
Yeah.
like this is absolutely not okay.
Yeah.
And instead he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Vandalism. What did they do? Knock something over? And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you literally did like 9 things.
Yeah, he destroyed this
Destroyed
place.
it, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. But then, you know, he does go to confront him, and it's a big moment
Mm-hmm.
for Johnny to be the bigger man because he's had this conversation after being counseled by Kreese to go get his son back and you know, complain. He finds out that Robbie, so we skipped something here. He finds out that Robbie's living over with Daniel.
That was tough.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He goes to the dealership, punches a noosh.
Poor guy.
Just a punching bag. A noosh is just a punching bag. Goes over to the house though and finds out that, you know, Robbie is in fact living with his arch nemesis. He's being raised in this other man's house, and so I think gets drunk, talks to Carmen. That's here, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Another just like very bad drunk driving moment from Johnny LaRusso. Man, he's got some. That's tough.
I know. You know?
How many times we're kind of keeping track? There's a drinking game that you can play at home. Every time that he drunk drives.
Oh,
take
it's
a
so
drink.
bad.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that we haven't mentioned here is that Robbie, speaking of Robbie, who lives with Daniel, is that his middle name is Swayze.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that was such a great moment. Oh my
Classic.
God. Love that.
Swayze is my all-time guy. So
Okay.
I'd say it's Cruise and Swayze. They're my two favorites of all time. Like I have the biggest Swayze fan.
Tom Cruise?
TC Legend, I like to call him.
Okay, all right. I was just
Yeah.
making sure it was Tom Cruise, not any other.
Not Penelope
Cruises.
Cruz. Or
Victor Cruz.
Victor
or,
Cruz, maybe.
Who's the
Ted Cruz,
who's the
maybe.
Old Spice guy? Isn't that Old Spice guy?
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. There,
All-
see?
Other than Ted Cruz, all good to me. But
Okay.
big fan of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, if you say TC now, we got Ted Cruz and Terry Crews. You got to identify who TC is now, even.
It's a strong point. It's a strong. Yeah. I mean, come on. You say TC Legend. Who else could really be TC Legend?
Point.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
there you go.
Top Gun Day at the beach, May 19th at Santa Monica. May 18th?
Really?
Nah.
You
there
gonna go do volleyball with the
Little
highways,
volleyball?
the highways, the jeans,
I
and
don't
the
know.
aviators?
I don't know.
Little shirtless volleyball.
I'm just saying,
Carb-
you're really
do some
you're
carb
really
cycling,
Into,
get
you're
ready.
really into TC. I'll
Yeah.
be your goose.
Okay, there you go.
Oh,
there
it's
you
a
go.
bromance. I love it.
So, all right. So basically, we find out that he's living with him. Goes over there, and he decides to confront Daniel at the dojo. And he's like, he has this moment. Kreese looks at him, and he thinks he showed weakness in front of his students. I liked personally that Johnny didn't react.
I think that it was the moment. There was the boiling point was when Daniel said, "You know, I'm not going to strike first."
Such a
And
good
you're like,
moment. You could feel the
"Oh,
tension,
you could
couldn't
feel
you?
it."
Oh my gosh.
I also thought though, like it's interesting that Johnny doesn't strike and then loses students. And part of the reason he loses students is because of the vandalism and they're like aware of what happened. Part of the reason is because he didn't strike first and he showed weakness. And I think they don't really, they don't acknowledge it. They want to make you feel like in that moment he lost students because the kid's like, I didn't even like it anyway. And these kids leave. But I think in some ways it's a little bit of like, well, who are you then? If you're not going to fight, right, but you're also going to show weakness, we don't really want to be here. We don't get it.
You're admitting by not fighting, you're admitting that you were at fault.
And also, Kreese is here, and you're letting this guy's energy come in here that you're
Yes.
supposed to be a strike first, show no mercy dojo, but now you get confronted in front of your students and you don't even throw a punch. Like, who are you? You know, it's like Johnny is caught between these two ideologies, and that's the issue, right? So he's losing confidence from the students. Now, on the other side of the story, we've got Miguel and Tory, and Sam and Robbie. So Sam and Robbie, they have this moment. They take down Cobra Kai. They almost kiss. It's a we can't do it, you know, parent situation.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, understandable. I think we all know that's just setting up for them to eventually kiss. That's, Obviously. On the other side, Tori is going after Miguel hard. She's not even making right.
No. And for not as much as the reason she actually wants Miguel as she knows that it's Sam's guy.
Yep.
So
When she found that out.
yeah, that really was like, okay, we're
Let's turn
doing
the
this.
knife.
And so you always wonder like what her reasoning is. Is it really because it's Miguel or is it just for Sam?
Right. Yeah, because Tori's a little bit of a villain.
Spite.
I
Yeah.
would say she's a little bit of a villain.
She has
Absolutely.
issues.
Yeah, she's trouble. She's trouble. I'm so excited for season 3. So
know,
much I
my
want to
gosh.
talk about. But so she goes after Miguel. What did you guys think about his presentation for Sam on the computer there? Cause it feels like it's something you would do.
Great editing skills. I mean, you lay it all out on the line. Here's the
All
thing.
in.
Here's the thing too. We know Sam would have reacted well to this.
Oh,
She
of
would have loved it.
course.
She would have loved
Would
it.
have loved
Tori
it.
reacted well to it until
any
she found
kid at
out.
home, put that presentation together, send it. Hit
Yes.
send. You don't regret
It's
it.
a win. No question.
Yeah, but Tori sabotages it. Burn the computer. Burn it
great
to ash.
line, though.
Dispose
Great
of the
line.
ashes. Yeah.
Purge the computer. Yeah.
But you know, the lesson is you got to go all in. The one thing we didn't talk about is earlier in the episode, the lesson that's being taught by Johnny and Kreese together is and this was the throwback where he's got his arm around his neck because it's the
I
scene.
forgot about that
gotta go all
moment.
in.
That was a scary moment for me because it was a combination of flashback
Yeah.
and then modern day, and it was a lot of tension. There's so many amazing moments filled with tension.
It's like Johnny in that moment is trying to talk himself into the idea that he's okay teaching this lesson to the kids.
And then he trusts Kreese.
And he's not, and he doesn't. But he's trying to be strong. Like that's the broken part of Johnny as a character. Like that's the insecure part of him as a character, where he's like, I have to tell myself and these students that I'm strong enough to handle this challenge. You know, I can wield the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm strong enough to take this on. And I love that he's like, if you go here, he's got you. If you go here, he's got you. So you got to go all in.
Yeah.
You got to forward and just get on the ground, take the consequence. And this, of course, is the lesson. Let's go all in. Go all in. So Miguel goes all in, kisses Tori, starts the romance, and sets us up for episode 6.
Can't wait.
Lot to talk about. Guys, really quickly, want to thank all of you for being a part of the AfterBuzz TV family. We are the ESPN of TV Talk, and it's your support that has helped us get there. So please go give us a rating and review on iTunes. Leave us 5 stars. Let them know if you enjoy the show. If you want to see other things, leave your comments there below. And then also, please subscribe to the other YouTube channels. There's like 12 of them. There's one for superhero shows. There's one for dramas, reality TV.
Any show that you watch on TV, we have an after show for it. And
Absolutely.
you can chat with people all over the world about their thoughts on it, your thoughts on it, maybe pick up some things you didn't know and hear some amazing interviews from cast members.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of which, we interviewed the whole cast of Cobra Kai at the Paley Center last week. Tammy and I did the interviews. You guys can find those on the Red Carpet and Events AfterBuzz TV YouTube channel. Michael, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at @TheOnlyMC.
And you can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia, Insta Tami Goveia Official.
And you guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media, Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you all back in just a second for episode 6.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.